There's a term in the trades called busy fool, and it's that one where people are spinning their wheels. They're really busy, but they don't see the money that they're making. The way that I initially speak to people is through free consultations, and most of those free consultations, a lot of people will come in and say, Shareen, I'm working really hard, but I don't feel like I'm making any money. And that's oftentimes because there's a gap between what they're doing and what they're being paid, and that can come up in many different forms. It could be a productivity issue because it means that they're traveling from one side of a city to another side of a city, not realizing that they're burning travel time. It can mean that they're not pricing correctly. That's another big one. They're doing jobs that don't have a good margin on it, but they're doing lots of those small margin jobs rather than focusing on the ones that bring in the bigger margin. There are lots of different ways that it kind of makes itself up, but that is normally the number one complaint. And I think we know tradespeople as being one of the hardest working sectors that there are out there, but they don't often bring home the money that they should do. And with a small few tweaks, we can kind of make that happen fairly quickly, because most of it is to do with inefficiencies in the business.
Yeah, brilliant point that. And I think what I've noticed as well, what a lot of tradespeople do, they're busy, and then they have a gap in between the busyness where they're trying to find another work itself. So they may be looking for the next project for a week, and that money, what they've earned, good money, it lasts us over. So they don't really make a lot of money over the long term because of the gaps in between each project. How do you find that work itself?
That's about having a steady flow of leads coming in. And one of the things that I'd like to do is get the clients that I work with to find a niche. Because when you find a niche, you become the specialist in that area, and then you get to charge a premium off the back of it as well. So really looking at those two things together brings in a consistent flow of income rather than relying on the phone to ring, which is what a lot of tradespeople do. They work more on a reactive basis waiting for the phone to ring, but many of them don't know how to make that phone ring, and that's what we do. Because when you do that, you could sleep better at night. You know your bills are going to get paid because you have some kind of capacity to know roughly what's coming in. But also you're in a position of power because you know that you can ultimately command how much you're actually going to make rather than hoping and praying someone's going to call you for a job.
Yeah, that makes sense. It does, because I know a few people in my circle, and you call them sometimes and they don't answer their phone. And then when they call you and they're asking for work, that kind of thing. So it's good to have that framework of consistency. I guess that's what you're saying. Is that the case?
Yes, and please always answer the phone. It's one of my bugbears when people are like, oh, I'm busy, and then wonder why they haven't got any work. 2-3 weeks or even months down the line. If you present yourself as being busy all the time and not having extra capacity, people are going to give that work to somebody else. So you've got to learn how to schedule in that work, how to really talk to people so that they understand you can't do the work maybe right now, but this is the next available time that you've got, and part of the systems that we put in place to kind of make that happen. Because so many businesses that are doing really, really well go in the opposite direction just through simple lack of communication and lack of response to the people who actually want to work with them.